Hello, America. Today is a very special day. Or, as my idol once famously said, today is a...
That's one small gas for man, one giant shit for mankind.
I'm Delvis Garcia, and today I have the pleasure and honor of presenting you with America's future #1 park, Gastro Wrld.
He's a clown now. Oh, he's silly now.
Before we begin, due to the Theme Attractions Yearly League of Regulations, also known as Taylor, we have to have a doctor explain the medical aspect of all the rides and attractions. If not, we get shut down. So please welcome Dr. Gravis Pott. Hello, thank you for having me. It's an honor. Here in Gastro Wrld, we have a few food stands, and they all offer the same exact food: beans. Beans are the #1 food known for giving you gas. After all, we are in Gastro Wrld. Now for the fun part: the attractions. These attractions were rated by critics in order from what you should ride first and what you should ride last. The first ride you should go on is the SSS, or the Slinky Soaky Shot. This ride is not meant for people with underlying heart disease or any medical problems. The SSS consists of a lot of slingshot rides situated in a dark room. To intensify the ride, we added multiple spots that shoot out water in order to make you wet. This ride relates to the mouth because it slings you back and forth, just like food is slung back and forth when it's being mechanically digested in your mouth. Also, saliva glands secrete saliva to the bolus to make it wet. The second ride we recommend you to go on is called the Eso Tube. This is the #1 tallest closed free fall water slide in of all of the world, plummeting you down 462 feet to the ground. This ride also has a lot of wavy movements so that you can move down even faster. Where does it plummet you into, you may ask? A wave pool. The wave pool is called the Stum Wave. However, if you want to go into the Stum Wave, you don't have to go through the free fall slide. You can just go in through the shore. The Eso Tube relates to the esophagus because the esophagus is a lubricated enclosed tube that has wave-like contractions where food can pass through, and that bolus, which is the food, drops into the stomach, which is very wavy, and that's the wavy pool part. But to elaborate on that, the Stum Wave relates to the stomach because the stomach moves around a lot, forming waves of acid in order to mechanically break down food. The fourth ride we recommend you to go on is called the Small Coaster. It's called small because it has a really small perimeter, but don't be fooled. This ride is very long. It just doesn't use up a lot of space. With a lot of sharp turns and twists, this ride is situated under a large lake. People throw a lot of pennies into this lake. It's like a sin not to throw a penny into the lake when you ride it. If not, there's pretty much no point of riding it if you're not going to throw a penny. But these pennies can sometimes be acidic. So we have a pen room that releases chlorine, to make the water less acidic. So yeah, this roller coaster relates to the small intestine because it's very long, and you throw pennies into it because your small intestine gets nutrients from your food. It relates to chlorine because the lake under the roller coaster sometimes is using something that releases chlorine, which would be the chyme, to cleanse it. Chyme that comes from the pancreas to kill some of that stomach acid would be the chlorine. The chlorine being used to filter the water. Bro, I'm done talking. You go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I'm done talking. Stop looking at me. Then we finally get into our last ride, the large anus. The large anus starts as a wide tube. It's a really short tube, but it's wide. And it throws you into a spiraling cone that starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller in diameter until at one point it throws you into a pool with whirlpools. This ride relates to the large intestine because it's very short, but it's also very wide. The ride also relates to the anus because it connects to the large intestine and it takes out waste through a hole that gets smaller and smaller and smaller into diameter. At one point, it throws you in to the toilet, which would be that pool with whirlpools. Because when you flush the toilet, it's a whirlpool. I have no idea how that's medical, but I was told to include it. So I'm including it, I guess. Bro, you know the way you're looking at me is really scaring me, right? Today we reviewed our park's best attractions, which include the SSS, the Eso Tube, the Storm Wave, the Small Coaster, the Pan Room, the Large Tube, and lastly, the Large Anus. Thank you all for listening to the Future Park of America, and we promise you we're gonna be the best. On opening day, remember that at 2 p.m. we will be having our first show. The show's name is Natural Killer Cells versus Coronavirus, so be sure to watch that live action. As always, thank you so much, and Delvis signing out.